Hey friend, hey, welcome back to another episode. My name is Miata. I am your host of the Miata Shantae podcast, where we talk a little bit about everything. We are getting inspired over here, empowered, and we are sparkling with purpose. So if that's something you're into, I suggest that you just subscribe, follow the journey, and get in on these nice conversations that we're having over here, because it's a lot to talk about. It's a lot going on in the world. You know, we here for it, okay? We have no choice but to be here for it. So, yeah, let's get into it, y'all. I want to talk to my people that's in work environments. Like, let's talk about it. I mean, sometimes the work environment just make you either want to walk out or you just want to put in your 2 weeks notice. Like, which one do you want? Do you want me to give you, the right way to do it? Or you just want me to walk out and leave you high and dry? Because I can do either one. And, sometimes our mind frames of environments that we're in are totally not what we want them to be. Because sometimes, me personally, I'm still in the working world, and when I go to work, and it's just the environment for me. Like, the environment sometimes just makes me want to get up and go sit in my car for like the rest of the day, or just drive home. Y'all, I'm serious. Do y'all feel like that sometimes? Like, you don't want to be that way and you don't want to give that type of energy, because we are all about being inspired and being empowered. But let's just get transparent and let's just get real for a moment, because, sometimes we battle whether stepping out on faith is really, 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 deep within us. And sometimes we battle it, like, I want to step out on faith and I want to, do the thing that I love to do, but it's the financial support, I think, that kind of holds us back. And building up that abundant mind frame, that knowing that you came here abundant, you were born abundant, like you lack nothing. And the more that you tune in with yourself, and say to yourself and build yourself up, affirm the things that you desire, but also affirm that you have everything that you need. All of that sounds good. And when you're in the moment of the environment, you're not thinking about that, because let's be honest, you know what I mean? That's me too. Like, I'm not necessarily thinking about that. I'm thinking about, why is, Sally Sue over here hacking? Why is, Joe Jane over here running around being messy? And why is, John Doe speaking 1 minute and not speaking the next? And why is my supervisor dumping all this work on me? Why can't they keep nobody in here? Why is the turnover rate so high? Why did they tell me one thing in the interview and I get in here and it's a totally different story? Like, and I get in here and I'm building up relationships and people like, oh girl, I'm putting in my 2 weeks notice and you've been here 2 years. What is going on? What is happening right now? Like, girl, it's just so much. Like, it really is so much that we can say about work environments, the working world, and just the lack of appreciation that you get in certain work environments. And not to negatively bash these companies, not to negatively bash people that are in leadership, but if you take the company, for instance, you can say, for instance, Target, you love Target, you love the environment of Target, but you can have one experience with a Target employee that ruins the Target experience from being amazing. Okay. And then you got the worker that may have had some personal issues, or management is not, leading in the way to motivate the employee and make the employee feel appreciated, so they don't give a damn, And so it's brought back to a lot of dynamics of just the work environment, period. And, I always think to myself, I'm like, when my business really, really gets to the point where I need employees, like, I am going to value my employees. I am going to value the fact that if you're coming here to work and help me build my company up, I'm going to make sure that you know me. I'm going to make sure that you know what I value. I'm going to make sure that you take time for yourself. And I'm going to make sure that you're not overworked to the point to where you can't enjoy your peace while you're at work, while you're creating. You know what I mean? Because a work environment is just not for robotic things of typing on the computer, doing this, entering paperwork, writing this, writing that. We're all creative, and we all have a creative nation, within us. And it's like, when you think about it to the point to where, it's like you begin to question, what am I really here for? Though everything serves a purpose, everything has a purpose in it. Like, everywhere you go, every experience, and sometimes we apply for these jobs and we show up for them. Though they are building experience and skill, we're not really looking at it building personal skills within us. Yes, it's building the resume skill, it's building the working skill, but what is actually building us personally to where we value ourselves a little bit more, we appreciate ourselves a little bit more, and we give ourselves the dedication in each and every environment to be able to be successful and set ourselves up for success. I don't feel like there's no true label on success. Success is what you make it. It's not, we have to, reach $100,000 by the end of the year. That is a company success. That's celebrated within the company because everybody individually contributed. But your own success is what you devote to yourself in the moments that you're in those, environments that are to help you grow. And whether it's through a promotion, if you choose that you want to make a career out of whatever it is, or whether you want to get the experience there so that you can apply it somewhere else, always look at your personal skills as well. Is your leader worth looking up to? And I feel like, sometimes it's scarcity behind speaking up to your leader, letting them know how you feel, because it's like, okay, am I going to get fired, or am I going to get this, or am I going to get that? It's easy to just leave, or it's easy to just have an attitude or act like you don't want to be there. It's easier to do that instead of stepping up for yourself and saying this and saying that, because they feel like they have the power to say you're going to be here or you're not. You know what I mean? But that value within ourselves to say, I am more valuable to myself than this position. This is only a position with a job description. My life cannot measure up to this one experience in my life. There's multiple experiences that I can dive into if I tune in with myself. You know what I mean? If I sit with myself and I meditate and I make sure that I'm valuing self-care, I'm valuing my relationships outside of work, I'm valuing my outlook on my goals, because our own goals are different than the company goals. You know what I mean? It's like the company has goals that they want to meet. The supervisor has goals that they want to meet. The leader has goals that they want to meet. Everybody has these goals, and they're expecting you as an individual to meet their goals. And your small work cannot amount up to the big goals that they want, and you will work yourself to death trying to reach somebody else's goals. Why not do that for yourself? Why not take the time out to say, hey, I need to make sure I prioritize my individual goals and know that they're reasonably, met, than me pouring into somebody else's pot when I'm just as creative myself. And it's like, sometimes you don't agree with everything that is being, said or done, or what you have to do to help them do whatever that they need to do, which teamwork is always great. I'm not knocking teamwork at all. You always want to be a team player. You always want to be positive. You always want to be that person that is knowledgeable and work-wittable, if that's a word. But I want to be work-wittable. I want to be, y'all, I'm laughing at that word, work-wittable. I do. I want to be work-wittable, and I want to also work with myself enough to know that I'm thinking beyond, I'm thinking more, I'm thinking, to the point to where I can either get out of here or I can grow in here. I'm not going to let the pettiness of whatever is going on get to me enough that it affects my goals. If you want to stay somewhere and you want to move up and you want to, be valued and appreciated, then first you have to value and appreciate yourself. You have to implement that energy wherever you are. And in order for that energy to grow, it's going to be seen, it's going to be heard, but it's a gentleness and a lovingness and a kindness that we have with ourselves in order for us to really produce in the way that, in whatever environment we're in, it's going to work out for our favor and for our good. And for me, no matter what, I always try to look my best in every environment, and I always try to set a respect for myself. And I can guarantee you the respect that I have for myself has been seen, because I get compliments all the time. You come in here looking like this, you come in here and you're not dressed for this job. That is the point. I don't want to fit in with y'all. To be honest, I don't want to fit in with you. I don't want to make you feel comfortable around me. You know what I mean? Because I'm not here to make friends. I'm not here for you to like me. I'm here to do my job and to be work-wittable and to be valued and appreciated. But at the same time, I have to value and appreciate my work ethic. And if I see that I'm valuing and appreciating myself and it's not necessarily, met, I can't put that expectation on anybody else. I have to observe and see. And if it's not the environment for me, then of course, it's always something better. There's always another job. There's always another career path. There's always, a serving that you can do. But when you serve for yourself and you look at the serving that you enjoy, that you want to better, that you have the knowledge in, that you appreciate, that serving goes so much further than you think. And when you apply, it within yourself, you apply that faith and you just step outside of just knowing, what and grow to know something new and unlearn what you have learned and learn new ways of just being able to step into the unknown and, deading your old self to say, I'm not going to think this way. Everybody's not out to get me. I can thrive in whatever environment that I am in. But if that environment is not serving me, it's okay for me to walk away. It's okay for it not to make sense for everybody else, but it makes sense to me. It's okay for me to walk away from things that are not serving me and know that I am abundant enough to walk into another door, and it's going to be an experience for me that I can take to another door and another door and another door. And those doors are just going to keep opening till you're led through destiny and purpose, because it's not about the doors that are opening. It's about how you're walking into those doors. So bettering yourself is not always for other people, for the job, for the relationship. Bettering yourself is for you so that you can open new doors and opportunities for yourself, and you can step in faith and take risks, because you've built yourself up enough to know what patience you need to have and what areas you're triggered at the most, and heal in those areas, and be able to take whatever environment you're in and make it your own. I hope that made sense to y'all, because I got deep. Like, I really got deep because I'm passionate so much about jobs and the environments that jobs produce, because there's so many good working people. Like, you are a hard worker. I am a hard worker. There's so many hard workers out here. I go to restaurants and I see these servers and they're working so hard. You don't know what they're going through. And for them to not have a leader to really appreciate them, these leaders make these companies. You're not going to remember the company as much as you're going to remember the leader. Of course, the benefits matter. The benefit packages matter. But at the end of the day, your leader makes it all the more reason for you to stay at a job, to thrive at a job, and to be valued at a job. So in order for us to build ourselves up to be leaders, we have to acknowledge, the leader within ourselves, knowing what type of leader we want to be, and even producing that if we are not titled as a leader. We are all still leaders for God, for the Spirit. We may not be a leader at our job, or a manager, or a supervisor, or whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, you are still a leader in your community. You're a leader when you go to the grocery store. You are a leader when you're out with your kids. You're always leading because somebody is always watching. So it's very important for us to build those leadership skills within ourselves, although we may be in small positions. Those small positions, they have big minds in them. You know what I mean? You may be in a position right now that is small, but you got a big mind. You got big dreams. You know what I mean? So don't let your environment cripple you or cripple your mind to think that this is it, or there's no way out. You know what I mean? There's always a way out if you think better. If you make a better perspective for yourself, there's always a way to be better, do better, know better, and apply better, and apply that to your life so that abundance is always in your perspective, because it's always, we were born with it. We're here abundantly. Our breath that we can't see, that is invisible, it is abundant to our life. So friend, I am here to remind you, keep going and take that environment as a challenge for you to be your best self. Take that environment that you're in and be the leader that you know that you can be. Don't look at Sally Sue. Don't look at the company. You are an entity. You add value to everything that you enter. When you enter into a room, you enter into a job, you enter into a relationship, that is your moment to add value. So stay in your peace. Stay in your peace, stay in love, stay in your perspective, your focus, your own goals. Build up your self-care and create the environment that's going to create you. Okay? Y'all, I was passionate about that. And I am. Like, I'm so passionate because I've been through so many jobs. And I think about my leaders, and I can't say that when I think about my leaders, it's not just one that sticks out in my head. Like, oh, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I have two that I can pretty much say that when I think about a leader, I feel like they led me in a respectable way, to the point to where it wasn't just as memorable as I would want it to be, but it's memorable enough to where I felt valued, And so that's what gets people to stay, is the value, but you also have to add the value to create the environment. So I encourage you to add value to yourself. Write down your values. What do you value the most? Is it love, respect, loyalty? And keep those with you and implement them as a leader wherever you are, wherever you go. Y'all, I love y'all so much. I gotta go eat me something. I'm hungry. But I love y'all so much. It's been wonderful talking with y'all. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for tuning in. Share this if you care. Connect with me. I want to hear from you. Anything you want to talk about. I definitely want to have more people come on with me. I'm so excited. I just love conversations, y'all. I love it. So email me at talkswithmiata@gmail.com. Also, you can connect with me on Instagram at Miata Shante, as well as comment under the videos. I want to hear from you. I love y'all so much. Have an amazing day. Sparkle on purpose, and I'll talk to you soon.